Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet, and welcome to another Daily Masters cast. This is taken back from way back in DreamHack's Open Summer, I think. So feels like a few years ago, but actually it's probably like a couple of months ago. Things run very, very fast in the Starcraft professional universe, as you probably know. So moving on, we are going to be doing a ZvZ game today. Down the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be Jaedong, and up the top left side of the map, it is going to be Stephano. So yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see which of these guys get in, do their stuff, and of course, ZvZ games are always really interesting because, sorry, it's just, yeah, it's down to the very, very fine points of this game as to who gets in, who does what, who basically what strategies win, and it's a million times closer than any other matchup, in my opinion. And we will just have to see exactly what these two players get up to. Now, we do have a disappearing building coming in, but of course that is the game hard interface, so we just have to do our very, very best to sort of ignore when that happens. But right now, it does look like Stephano is pushing ahead on the workers a little bit pretty early on. Yeah, and Jaedong meanwhile going for the earlier gas. So Stephano's going to have a bit more workers when he goes out for his hatchery, and Jaedong going to have a little bit less workers, but he is going to have that assimilator out a little bit earlier. So looks like potentially going for Ling's speed. I'm guessing he's not going to get the speed up by the time this comes out, but he will get the speed after a couple of minutes. And there we go, Stephano going to be going for his own gas as well, but that's going to be a little bit later. And overall, yeah, I mean, Stephano's got the hatchery coming out a little bit earlier. He's got the worker advantage just a tiny bit though, and we'll have to see, because this earlier gas from Jaedong to me indicates that he's thinking about Ling's speed. You can see he's already taken drones off the gas. He's only got one left on there. The other two have been taken off, so definitely looks like there's going to be some scary Ling play very early in this game, perhaps in like the 6-minute mark, maybe a bit earlier, maybe a bit later. And yes, Stephano, I'm still unsure as to what he is planning on going. He's obviously not going for Ling speed, but he could be. He's got the 100 gas. No, he's not as of yet. He hasn't ordered it. He may. There we go. It's his Ling speed coming out there. So he's going to be getting that, and both players going down the same route, I guess. But of course, Jaedong has sacrificed his economy a little bit to get Ling speed out a hell of a lot sooner. And here we go, 16 Lings coming out. So he's going to be looking to do some damage, and Stephano is going to have a hell of a time holding this off. But of course, if he holds it off, then he will have that economic advantage, and he can build on that, and he can make it happen. And there we go, some banelings coming out. I do not believe he is going to have banelings by the time these Lings come in, but very, very wisely, he's actually putting a spine crawler over here. And the only thing he's really got to worry about now is making sure this ramp is blocked off, because if the ramp's blocked off, this spine crawler actually, he's going to need a lot of Lings, because if the spine can get taken out in half a second by the Lings of speed, there he goes, trying to hold off the gap here, getting the Lings in there. The Queen's taking a lot of damage. The spine crawler not quite in the way, but they are going to plug up the gap here, and the Lings are not going to get through. They're taking a hell of a lot of damage from the two Queens. They're going to run out. They're going to attack the spine crawler, but yeah, Jaedong losing quite a lot of Lings in that attack. And I mean, Stephano's got the banelings out now. He's managed to keep his spine crawler alive. He's managed to keep the Queens alive. So yeah, really, really excellent defense there by Stephano. And Jaedong very wisely, as soon as he saw that wasn't really working, that it wasn't really going down, he started to get the workers really, really well. I think he was getting the workers anyway. I don't know if this was sort of all in. It was just sort of a feint to get workers out, and Stephano's going to counter straight in with all of those Lings. he might be able to do a little bit of damage, but I think he is going to get knocked back. Although a couple of workers going down, or Baneling coming out, and these are the Banelings from Jaedong. So yeah, doing a very, very nice job, and he is going to have no trouble at all holding that off. And of course, Stephano just using that to get his own insane amount of macro going on. You can see he just went for a stupidly stupid amount of workers. He's up to 35 now, so he's completely eclipsed Jaedong's worker production. But he really doesn't have anything in terms of defenses. A spine crawler and a couple of Banelings. And yeah, he's got no hope of blocking up this round. The Banelings have no hope of getting up here fast enough to stop the serious damage happening. And Jaedong with this counter is done pretty good. I mean, he took out a queen. Didn't really take any workers though, and just bad timing because Stephano was probably expecting that counter. He had already started all those lings being produced before these lings from Jaedong came in. So he was able to counter it fairly well before he lost a fairly large amount of workers in the main, which is exactly what's going to happen. And yeah, now he's countering with his own ling force, so just back and forward, back and forward. Both players trying to get the best time to build workers and the best time to counter. And look at this man, Jaedong doing an excellent job. He's got only 6 lings out there. It's like a third of this force out there, but they're chasing them all over the place and holding off Stephano's attack, trying to buy some time. And meanwhile, Jaedong has caught up on the worker numbers. So both players doing really, really well. Stephano wants to make it happen though. Look at this, 9 more workers and a roach one coming out, and Jaedong going for the spire. He's gonna need a third base to really, really make that work, but we can expect 3 third bases to come out fairly soon. However, I do not know if I like this tactic based on what Stephano is doing. I mean, getting the Roach Warren out, he's going to have all the gas he needs off 2 bases for the Roach Warren. He just needs to mine a ton of minerals here. And we can be looking at a 15-minute roach push with a very scary amount of roaches, maybe like 12, 14 or something by that point potentially. And yeah, I mean, muters aren't going to be all that good at dealing with roaches, man. He's going to have to go out and he's going to have to try and sort out workers, but with a couple of spores, I think that Stephano should be able to take care of any muters coming out there in the 15-minute mark. And by the time that Jaedong really gets that nice muter cloud to just start wiping everything out, Stephano will have won the game with roaches just wiping everything out. So it all comes down to how many muters Jaedong can get out nice and quick. He's going to get out 6, and that's a nice start. But we got to look at the roach production. There's actually no roach production for Stephano at the moment. He's not really getting it. He's not really getting the roaches, and he needs to get the roaches out nice and fast. He needs to start doing a lot of damage really, really fast. He's got the minerals. There we go. 7 roaches coming out. But I feel like the very, very aggressive building of muters here is going to turn against him, because I mean, you think looking at the numbers that Stephano could maybe do something, but the spire was out quite fast, and yeah, Jaedong just going for a ton of muters, a real ton of muters, and with the lings out as well, putting up a lot of pressure. The roach is finally going to come out. They're going to be dominating on the ground, but it's no longer about the ground, it's all about the air, and a couple of spore crawlers going to have to come out. He's actually done a really good job getting them out nice and early. And 7 muters, he's going to be able to see those off from attacking his workers, but any more muters and they can start to snipe out spore crawlers, and then Stephano is going to be in a lot of trouble, and he knows it, so he's moving out now with whatever he has, try and make as much happening. But of course, if he moves out with everything he has, then he leaves himself open to these lings, and he's got his own ling force, but the defenses from Jaedong are doing a very, very good job at holding him off. He hasn't really got the roach numbers that he really wanted, to be honest. Look at these Banelings, man. They would love to get a good hit off on the lings. They almost had it there, just 3 lings left over, so that's pretty nice. Meanwhile, this force being completely knocked back, and the roach numbers never really getting huge, but the muter numbers are starting to get huge. Jaedong, yeah, just doing a really, really good job and saving up everything he needs to save up. And of course, the strength of Stephano's strategy, if you can call it a strength, is that he could get out more roaches faster and could really just push in and kill Jaedong while Jaedong was wasting time getting muted. But you need a lot of roaches. You need like 30 or so roaches to really make that happen. And Stephano never got that much roaches. He went in for the Infestor tech as well, I guess. And Infestor's not bad, but they the mutas came in when they had bugger all energy and they all died. So yeah, Stephano's just having no luck in this game whatsoever. And I mean, going up against the mutas, he didn't have it, man. If he had gone for Roach Hydra, he may have had a chance, but just going for pure Roach, the odds were always going to be against him. And there we go, bunch of Lings coming in here, just going to get chased off straight away by those very, very cheap to build Lings that Jaedong is definitely continuing to make a lot of. And he's actually going for his own roaches now, so I feel like he's, here we go, the mutas have got to be a little bit careful now. There is enough energy for fungals, and chain fungals on a clumped up group of mutas is going to mean a hell of a lot of gas that just goes down the toilet. So Jaedong does not want to see that happen. You can see he's spreading out his mutas beautifully here, not clumping them up at all. And oh, look at that, dodging that fungal, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Trying to fungal. There's a chance here maybe to get it. He's to the high ground. Where are the infestors? They're all out of position. They were beautiful. There we go. The infestors, man. They're not getting the fungal down. The muta's just teasing at the edge of their position, but it's just not happening. And muta's not doing critical amounts of damage, but they are hitting stuff. And yeah, you're stopping the third base from coming down, and that is going to be the death of Stephano if he cannot figure out some way to do it. I mean, he needs something to do with the mutas, and the infestors are too slow at the moment to really deal with him. He's actually moving out his spore crawlers, but the mutas are still around the back. 3 queens and a spore though, should be able to see them off. And yeah, look at this though, they're really pushing in, man. They are going to lose quite a few mutas doing this though, and the queen's running away. Oh, look at all these roaches though, man. A ton of roaches coming in, and Jaedong's just gone absolutely nuts with the macros. So many roaches, and really, really starving out Stephano here, not allowing him to get the third. And meanwhile, Jaedong just mining all sorts of stuff. He hasn't got the upgrade advantage on the roaches, but he's got the number advantage, and the infestors forced to use all of their fungals on the roaches, which leaves the mutas completely free to do whatever they want. He actually, looks like he may have lost a few mutas there. They may have got a fungal down on a few of them, or yeah, they just got caught out by the infestors, but certainly enough left here to do some havoc. And Stephano so badly needed that third base. He so badly needed it, but the muta's shutting it down straight away. And right now, I mean, Jaedong is just firmly in control of this game. Stephano's trying a whole bunch of stuff, but I think he's in a bit of desperation at the moment, trying to make things work. Nothing has really worked so far. He's going to try and get some swarm hosts out, probably to protect the ground, so he can focus more units on the air, either hydras or just sticking with the infestors that he currently has. And yeah, because that roach push really rattled him, and he was not happy with that. So he's got the infestors. He's going to try and make them work against the mutas, and he's going to try and make the swarm host work against everything else. And it's not a bad plan. There's got a decent amount of roaches in here, but with a couple of swarm hosts out, those roaches will start to take a massive amount of hits. And yeah, that's not going to be good. Swarm host way out of position though, way out of position. I don't know what they were thinking, but they are going to get owned here. Or one of them makes it back anyway. And a side swipe of roaches, sniping that third base, and yeah, Jaedong doing such a good job at yeah, keeping Stephano on 2 bases. The queen's even coming out now, is going to be hitting a few of the mutas. The mutas are really starting to look a little bit careworn, to look a little bit like they're all going to die fairly soon. But I think they've pretty much served their purpose at this point. He's not going to go for massive muta anymore, because at this stage it would be quite easy for Stephano to get hydras, and he's already got infestors, man. So infestors can wreck these guys all over the place. So, yeah, it's not quite able to get that second creep tumor, but fourth base coming down for Jaedong. And he's just going to continue to do all sorts of awesome stuff. The roaches coming in here. Bunch of fungals plus the roaches over here are going to be able to shoot them off. And it looks like finally Stephano is going to be able to hold his third base, keep it going, get it up. But I do believe it's just too late. I mean, he's 18 workers behind. And look at these guys, man. Where are the queens when you need them? I do not know. But the fungal's just not going down, not catching the full brunt of these mutants. They're so well spread out. And they're getting taken out slowly but surely, but he is using them to great effectiveness to try and kill some critical units. I think they've taken out at least one infestor so far, maybe more, and he's just letting them die right now. He does not need them anymore. He's going to be just getting a ton of ground units. Looks like Roach and Swarm host so far. And yeah, just look how many Swarm hosts he's got. He's actually got 16 versus 12, so Stephano not slacking off at all with the Swarm host. He's got a very, very decent number at the moment, but I mean, he's one base down. He's one base down, and his army is... he just doesn't have enough army. The roaches are going to be a little bit all over the place because, of course, roaches going up against the enemy Swarm host are going to get killed quite a bit. But yeah, for side swiping and all that sort of stuff, you can almost certainly expect this base to be under attack by Jaedong's roach forces. And you can see that Stephano does expect that, so he's got his own roaches over on the side to try and defend this third base. He doesn't quite have enough, and Jaedong pushing in with all of these locusts. Really trying to push in, really trying to keep Stephano contained. I thought he was trying to push in this base, but it looks like he's moving over here, maybe send some guys in this way. Meanwhile, the roaches go in the third way. And yeah, just hitting Stephano from all sides. Stephano's got some nice creep to sort of keep an eye out here. But the locusts coming in from the middle here. And yeah, these forces are going to be a little bit cut off. Jaedong's done quite an awesome job of splitting up the defenses. He could just put a bunch of locusts over here, run down there, and Jaedong would have no hope of taking out this third base. But sending the locusts up the middle, splitting them up, great job. And we're going to be seeing a massive battle here. Stephano getting his locusts in a beautiful position, but the roaches have really used this opportunity to do a hard push off the locusts coming in every single position. And once again, the third base goes down, and yeah, I don't know, man. Stephano, I feel like he lost quite a few minutes ago. He's been clawing his way back into this battle bit by bit, but I feel like he's just been shoved back once again, and I feel like, I don't know, man. He looked like he might have been clawing his way back into this battle, but I do not think that he's going to get another chance. He's lost his third base. And I think that is it. I think the macro is just going to catch up to him by now. I mean, look, he's trying to push out here. He's trying to make something happen. But he's going to get flanked so badly right now. And yeah, meanwhile, Jaedong sending a couple of forces over there to keep these guys busy. And here comes the flank. A whole bunch of Hydras. Swarm hosts are going to be dying by their hundreds, even though there aren't actually hundreds of them. But they're going to take out this base, back themselves into a corner, and they are going to kill quite a lot of Jaedong's forces here. He's microing to hit the Swarm hosts themselves, but he's taking out locusts as well just from auto attack. And there we go. Stephano give it the GG, and Jaedong is victorious in this battle. So congratulations to Jaedong for that beautiful victory, and it all came down to the management of Stephano's third base, just keeping the pressure on, doing a good job. Back when players just had lings, man, Jaedong was already doing a great job at just taking down that third base time and time again, making sure it never stayed for very long. And all the way through the tech, through mutas, then roaches, then swarm hosts, he kept his eye on the prize. He kept attacking that third base. He kept taking it down, and I mean, victory is pretty much guaranteed. At probably about the second last time the third base went down. But Stardust, a heroic effort to keep in the game, to get those swarm hosts out, to put himself on relatively equal footing, but in the end, this battle up here, Jaedong just bisected his swarm host force with some locusts up this middle pipe and really did a hard push to get in range of that third base and took it out once again. And yeah, it was pretty much all over then. After that, Stephano tried to do a death push with his swarm host to take this base out, to try and make something happen. He took the base out, but all his swarm hosts died, all 12, 14 of the bastards, and that was basically it. So yeah, just really, really nice game from both players, and congratulations to Jaedong for taking this game away. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching this Daily Masters. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.